Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. Today I am going to share my secrets of iPad note-taking that help me remember more and can help you remember more too. You can use any app as per your preference. I use OneNote for proper notes and here Flexcil for marking of my PDFs with this Apple Pencil that I have here. This version is actually the iPad Air 4 2020 that I bought a few months back, and it has given me great service ever since. Now, let's not talk too much about tech and what I use and what not, and let's get right into the video. Step number 1 is to identify important portions of the chapter. Before starting any chapter, I always look at the kind of questions that have been asked in the exercise and previous year papers. This in turn helps in identifying important portions of the chapter that I include more of in my notes, if that makes sense. A chapter is generally like a long story. We need to isolate important sections of the chapter to focus more attention on. This will help in strategizing what to study more and what to just leaf through. Step number 2 is to include information that you easily forget. What are the portions of the chapter that you can't remember after, say, 2 readings of the chapter, 3 readings? Include those points in your notes immediately. That way, you can easily leaf through your notes and the information that you forget will be reimposed again in your memory. That is how you convert short-term memory into long-term memory. Step number 3 is to use a question-answer format. Another great way of remembering more is to write down information in a question-answer format. Well, another way of highlighting information is to box them, as I have done over here. That also helps in isolating important portions of the notes. While reading a paragraph, I try to frame questions in my mind that the examiner can ask from that section. Once you have framed these questions in your mind, include them in your notes to indulge in some good old active recall. When you read the notes after 1 or 2 days, you will associate those questions and try to access the answers from your memory. This will in turn refresh your memory regarding that particular topic. Step number 4, don't make notes during the first reading. Making notes when you're reading a chapter for the first time is not a very good method of note taking. Everything will seem to be important and there is no use copying down the entire chapter. Is there? Start taking notes during your revision of the chapter. That way you will be sure of what you have forgotten and what you need to include strategically. Making notes to remember more is as much work as it is an art. Step number 5 is to include frequent rapid revision of your notes in your study plan. Do not spend the whole day revising your notes. Try to finish your notes quickly. That way you can increase the frequency of revision. Attempt questions after reading the notes. That will help in identifying concepts that are weak. Include some questions that seem tough to you in your notes. That way, not only will you memorize the formula, but also understand its applications. iPad gives you the advantage of adding pages to your notes, but in case of OneNote you have an infinite canvas. Well, you can scroll through and it is never ending. So that's a good thing to have. Infinite space for your notes. You can scroll horizontally also. Well, enough of that. You can add information, you can delete information. What more could you want? It's the coolest weapon that you have in your arsenal. Step number 6, don't forget to modify your notes. Suppose you are revising the chapter and feel that you have mastered certain portions of the chapter that you had previously included in your notes. Don't forget to modify your notes with time as new information keeps pouring in and other information starts to become useless. As they say, life is all about change. Don't shy away from changing your notes and shortening them from time to time. Step number 7 is to use proper headings and subheadings. Don't forget to categorize your notes into distinct packets of information. Suppose you have gone to a grocery store. There you find that none of the items have been arranged into distinct sections. What would you do? Would you search and search and search and search again till you find the required items, or would you just walk over to another store? You choose. I would choose the latter. Any day, every day, 24/7. If you feed your brain information without a tag, the brain won't be able to recall the information when needed. It will be like searching for a needle in a haystack. And remember, you won't have the option of using a magnet. Step number 8, and I can't stress this enough, don't over-decorate your notes. We have all seen those notes with glitters and sparkles and God knows what else. Do not spend mental energy in decorating your notes. Later, it becomes a task to isolate information from the notes. Make your notes as easy to read as possible. Do that and your eyes will not be distracted by the glow of the color pens and the glitter pens and the brush pens. It will do exactly what you need it to do, that is read, read and read. So that's all for today. Comment below if any of these methods feel interesting to you and whether you would want to implement them. Hopefully you had a good time. Now, don't forget to like the video before you go. Also subscribe for more study vlogs and such tips. I also make 1 or 2 stationery related videos sometimes. Okay, enough of me telling you what I do. Well, I will waste no more of your time. Goodbye and see you in the next video. Bye.